obviously. Awful inflation numbers, now the likelihood of a hard landing, maybe even a global recession. The student loan forgiveness, in the middle of all this, adding hundreds of billions, even $1 trillion to the demand side. Your allies, Larry Summers, Jason Furman, both warn that that's a problem. The president, once again, bowing to the far left, increasing demand and making things worse right at this time, Jared. I know you know. It's no way you can sell this to me with a straight face.
Wait a second. Let me try the following, because this is a fact that is not reflected in the rap you just gave me. And if you ask Jason and Larry about this, I think they'll agree. You should try and find out for yourself.
McCarthy is going to put forth a bill, if he is elected Speaker, to stop this 87,000-strong army of IRS agents that have a lot of Americans, middle-class, tax-paying Americans, many who perhaps live in your district, worried. You want to respond to that?
And that will bring down inflation. That will bring down gas prices. That will bring down the price of bread in food markets.
Harassing tax-paying Americans will bring down inflation? Is that what you're saying?
It's no secret that people have disdain for the IRS. There's no secret. And if that's the plan, then I'd like to see how that plan is going to impact all of these things that are really impacting the economy.
Look at the record, the facts. Joe Biden, day one and every day since, has unleashed an attack on American energy from his agencies, from the executive branch through executive orders, killing Keystone Pipeline, blocking permits for drilling, for leasing, for pipelines, not just in Keystone, all across the country. You can see the barrage, and it wasn't just one agency. I'll read a few of them. The Department of Energy went after American energy. Well, geez, if you've got a United States department with a cabinet secretary who is spending all their time attacking American energy, it might beg the question, why do you even have that department? Maybe China's funding it. That might make more sense because it benefits China to shut down American manufacturing. It benefits Russia to shut down American energy. The Federal Energy Regulatory Committee, the Securities and Exchange Commission. We've seen ESG policies that have crushed American energy producers. The Department of Agriculture, the Council on Environmental Quality, the Department of State, Environmental Protection Agency, Department of Justice, Department of Interior. Again, you would think these are agencies trying to help America be stronger, strengthen our national security. And it's not like they're just against oil and gas. It's just that they're against American oil and gas. So you've seen this whole barrage of agencies, this whole barrage of rules and regulations going after American energy. But then President Biden gets on Air Force One, flies 5,700 miles to Saudi Arabia to beg them to produce more oil. So it's not that he's against oil. He's just against American oil. Again, the cleanest in the world. Has anyone asked, I'm curious, my friends on the other side, maybe Mr. Duncan, in this report, we can ask the administration, what was the carbon footprint of President Biden's trip to Saudi Arabia? Over 11,000 miles round trip to fly over there to beg them produce oil that we can make cleaner. I'm curious, the crickets. I haven't heard a word about carbon emissions when it comes to that. Yet you would actually reduce carbon emissions by making more of the oil and gas here. Pick your country, Russia, Venezuela, Saudi Arabia. Go down the list of tyrants and dictators that this president has begged for oil while he shut it down here. Makes no sense. It's crushing jobs. It's dramatically increasing inflation. It's not just what we pay at the pump. Electricity, if we have a cold winter, people are going to be trying to heat their homes. Where are they going to get it from? They're probably going to have to go to Russia to get their oil in the Northeast because New York, for example, will block pipelines so you can't even get Pennsylvania oil over into New York or the New England states. So they've got to get it. Doesn't just fall out of the sky. They're going to have to get it by tanker from Russia. You watch California, great example of some of the worst policies in the world that start there. So they come up with a great idea. They're going to ban oil and gas cars. No fossil fuel cars, except one problem. They forgot to mention their grid can't even handle the cars they have today. If you have 5 to 10% of the cars using electricity today, the governor then went and urged right after he said you can't drive a gas-run car. He said, oh, by the way, you can't plug your electric vehicle in either because the grid can't handle it because it's all reliant on energy that's not reliable. And so I don't know if they think you can get on a unicorn and get to work. I don't know what they expect. You don't plug your electric car into a tree. Let's be honest about the consequences of these actions. We've got great ideas, great bills that would solve these problems. I know this committee won't bring any of these up. Maybe we'll be able to do something about that in the next few months. But in the meantime, let's at least pass this resolution and get some answers for those families who are getting kicked in the gut every day by these dramatically higher costs. They shouldn't be high like this. We could do it better. We could do it here in America where we do it cleaner and better than anywhere else in the world. I hope we pass this. Get some information on just how damaging these rules, regulations, attacks on American energy by the Biden administration are coming from. Who was in the room that decided a lot of this stuff? Did they know some of the things that may actually happen negatively to families, to our nation's economy, to the benefit, by the way, of foreign countries who have higher carbon emissions? When you see a country that Joe Biden inherited that was actually reducing carbon emissions, that was energy independent. Just 2 years ago, we were around $2 a gallon for gasoline, and we could produce everything on our own. And by the way, and I know a lot of people in this town love beating up on America, but there is no country in the world that produces energy cleaner than America. So if energy is going to be produced, you would think you would want to produce it in the country that does it the cleanest. Except that's not what they did. They started day one